Hey guys, before we get into today's narration, I just want to let you guys know that if you aren't subscribed to the channel yet, be sure to hit that subscribe button to be notified the next time I upload a story. It might be something you're interested in, so be on the lookout. Also, I have a Discord. If you guys want to join that Discord and give me story suggestions or just talk amongst other creepypasta story lovers, check it out in the description down below. It's a place where we can all get together and just hang out and tell stories. Either way, enjoy tonight's story. I think I first noticed it when I knew for sure I forgot to clasp the padlock together, but found it perfectly locked the next morning. I work part-time at a lifestyle store. It's a small store in the corner of a narrow street in K-Town. It's just a 25-minute walk from my house. Since the beginning of February, I had started feeling detached from myself. I was zoned out most of the time and remembered nothing. I did everything based on the habit of movement. It was in the second week of February that I arrived at the store to find the padlock unlocked. It was wound around the shutter clasp, but it was not locked. I realized I must have forgotten clasping it together. I opened the shutter gingerly and my eyes only a millimeter open, fearing the store might look ransacked. But it was normal. Lucky escape. The next couple of days I was extra cautious in locking the shutter properly. But then I fell back into my detached phase and worked absentmindedly. On February 11th, I remember reaching home and waking up, realizing with exponentially increasing dread that I didn't clasp the lock again. I didn't know whether to turn back or wait for the following morning. I chose the latter. Mind you, I was only 60% convinced I left the door unlocked. But next morning, it was perfect. Again. I think it was then that I started suspecting something, but I didn't know what, until I deliberately left it unlocked on February 14th. I took the bus to work in the morning of February 15th because I knew it would be my last ride there. After which neither will I be welcome there, nor will I be able to pay the fare, knowing full well I'd have to suffer the monetary consequence of the robbery that would have taken place. The shutter was properly locked. Again, this confirmed my suspicions. Before jumping to any conclusions, I carefully asked the other weekly part-timers if they were in the area, but they weren't. They were on duty in another branch. What was happening? I was shocked but not scared. My mental health was already in tatters for me to focus my attention and energy on something else. I was going to close the store again when I realized I left my phone inside. I raised the shutter and walked in. It was dark, but because of the habitual memory, I walked right into the counter space and found my phone. Somebody was calling me, but before I could raise the phone from the table, something happened. And I will never, ever forget how I felt in that moment. It got unbelievably hot inside. My first thought was, darn it, the heat will ruin the hummus. Before I could act on that, I felt cool air on my neck. The hair on my neck started perking up slowly, all the way to my legs. My entire body was covered in goosebumps. I turned around and saw nothing except it was pitch black. Even though the lights were turned off, it shouldn't have been so dark. So I did what any sane person would do. I spoke into the void. What's happening here? Something lightly touched my elbow. It felt like a claw, but more bony. I think it felt my body relax against its touch, and taking it as consent, I felt it coming closer from behind. I could tell so, because the air behind me got cooler, until the room temperature was back to its usual again. Everything was normal, except I couldn't see a thing. And I could feel its multiple hands around me, under my arm, over it, and around my waist, around my neck, and I could feel my hair being stroked. To be honest, I didn't know what on earth was going on. I even chuckled to myself. Hey, am I even on Earth still? Finally stepping out of my spiral of thoughts, I tried to twist and look at the perpetrator. Instead, I saw myself. The me I saw was looking at me, but I could tell her eyes were focused elsewhere, and that she was in her thoughts. So naturally, I looked down to see if my body was free of those tentacles or not, and saw that I was the one with the tentacles. And then the adrenaline hit me. I shut my eyes and prayed to be put back into my body and left alone. I opened my eyes after what seemed like an eternity and knew before checking that I was back inside my own body. I had another strange thought as well. I let the thought grow in the back of my mind while walking home. See, this was yesterday. I don't remember locking the shutter after grabbing my phone because I now know exactly what is happening. The power of the mind, eh? Somehow, my detachment from myself was literal. My mind was divided into two, and there was so much power in how I felt that another entity was formed. That is why I never remember locking the door or feeling out of my body. It is all literal. I am forming another self. I don't know where it stays, how it emerges, or what it can do, but I know it is not bad. Because I am weighing vegetables at the store right now, and I am also writing this story at the library.